What's going on, fam? It's Jay Black. Another video. Salute to everybody that's tuning in. Shout out to everybody that supports the content. Make sure y'all check out the previous video uploaded because I'm trying to get this video uploaded today about KD and comments that he made. Now, I'm going to read from this CBSSports.com article, but I just want to say this first about KD. You know, KD is saying the things that he's saying now. I think he's always felt that. I think he was talked into going to the Warriors, and he felt like he would be able to build a brotherhood, but that was never to be. The Golden State Warriors are loyal to championships. You know, that's what binds them together. I mean, they just traded Andre Iguodala, so that lets you know everything you need to know about bond and, you know, loyalty. I mean, friendship. I mean, come on, man. I mean, why is it that, and again, I'm not upset at KD for leaving. I think KD made the best decision for him, and I knew he was going to leave after the season. I knew that. That's why he tried to play last season, because, you know, not only may he have gotten bad advice, but I think he felt like he would help them win this one, and then he'd be out. You know, he didn't foresee getting hurt even more. But I always felt like KD never really fit in with the Golden State Warriors. You know, I just never thought he fit in. And that's the risk you take when you leave one job and go to another. You may know somebody at that new job that may have talked you into it, or maybe you were recruited. Maybe you heard good things, but you don't really know until you go there. And then once you get there, you realize it's not all it's cracked up to be. Now, according to CBS Sports, it says Kevin Durant felt unappreciated during his time with the Warriors, per report. So when he returns from the devastating Achilles injury that he suffered in Game 5 of the 2019 NBA Finals, Kevin Durant will be continuing his career in Brooklyn as he agreed to a new 4-year deal with the Nets shortly after free agency began. Despite all the success that he had with the Golden State Warriors, 2 titles and 2 finals MVPs in 3 seasons, Durant still felt that it was time to move on, partly because he felt unappreciated during his short stint with the Warriors. We all saw the descent here and there. There was a video clip going around his first year there with Draymond yelling in his face. You know, that's, you know, I guess KD thought he'd come in there and, you know, they would praise him. But I think when he got there, he realized that he was just another piece. And I believe they felt they had the attitude that they could win without him and that he needed them more than they needed him. But as you saw in the finals, they needed KD more than KD needed them, you know. But KD's a gamer. You know, he's going to play. In an interview with the Undefeated, Durant's friend and former teammate Kendrick Perkins revealed the new net never felt like he got the love that he deserved with the Warriors. And he also felt he was clearly second in the franchise's pecking order behind 2-time MVP Steph Curry. Of course, they drafted Steph Curry. Steph Curry is a guy who is the face of the franchise. Durant came in as a free agent, and he was never going to have that spot. You know, you got Steph Curry, his family, you know, the organization, again, they drafted him. So they saw him as the guy, as the franchise, you know. And I think that KD wants to be the guy. I don't know if KD thought that he would be the guy when he got there, but that was never going to happen, even if he is the best player on the team. At the end of the day, the team runs through Steph Curry. You know, Steph Curry came up a little small in the finals. He was a little small. He shrunk at certain points. I watched every game of the finals. He shrunk in certain games. Yes, he did, because he became so reliant on Kevin Durant this past season. The latter part of the of the season before this season, they became more and more reliant on KD to pick up the slack. And when KD wasn't there, they did not have a threat there. I mean, you had Klay Thompson, but Klay Thompson had gotten hurt. But he's no KD. I mean, Klay can play, but he's not really KD. You know, KD came back after sitting out in the playoffs, and he was in there just making buckets. because that's how good KD is. You know. And this is according to the Undefeated. I'm reading a little excerpt. It says, while Kendrick Perkins wouldn't go into detail, he believes Durant had 1 foot out the door this past season because the Warriors made him feel unappreciated. A source close to Durant also told the Undefeated there were several things that took place over the past year that caused the star to leave. We heard rumblings. A lot of us heard rumblings over the past couple of months leading up to the playoffs that KD wasn't happy. They were saying that Klay Thompson was looking to leave. You know, but money always makes people want to, you know, puts people in a better mood, so to speak. You know, and I think that once again, KD wants to be the guy. I mean, he was good with coming to the Warriors and winning a championship. People criticized him for that. But I think KD felt like with him being the MVP in 2 straight NBA finals, that he will be considered the face of the franchise. He would be the one who's marketed, even though they did market him. They did put KD out there as, you know, one of their best, if not their best player. But Steph Curry, as long as he's there, he's gonna be the franchise. He's gonna be the marketable guy. As soon as the finals was over, he was already in China promoting the NBA, promoting the Warriors franchise. Basically, you know. Now, I don't know what happened behind the scenes. We will never know what happened behind the scenes. Only Kevin Durant knows. But I think him playing, you know, with that injury, and I think he felt like the Warriors may have talked him into playing with this injury, knowing that it could get worse, but they were telling him it wouldn't. I can understand him also being upset about that too. But again, it was his call. You know, he didn't have to play. It was his call. But again, we know these organizations like the Warriors, they care about championships. That's what they care about, you know. All right, this is more from the Undefeated. It says, while Durant's shocking move to join the Warriors in 2016 quickly paid dividends for him, 2 straight championships and 2 finals MVP awards, there was always the sense that the 10-time All-Star felt like a distant second fiddle to Stephen Curry. The love for Curry in the Bay Area certainly was understandable, as he was a homegrown draft pick in 2009. People criticized that draft pick, by the way, and the face of the franchise, but perhaps it would have helped the Warriors' cause if their fans showed more love and appreciation for Durant's elite achievements. Instead, there was a perception that the world's most talented basketball player jumped into the championship bandwagon. They had won a championship before he got there. They were a great team before he got there. There's a lot of bandwagon Warrior fans, and they're casuals. They don't watch the NBA like that. They only know what's going on with the Warriors and what's being said about the Warriors. And if there's a perception that the Warriors are a great team without KD and KD goes to the Warriors, it is perceived that he is there because he wants to be a part of an already great team that is led by Steph Curry. Most of their fan base are bandwagon fans, man. If you live on the East Coast and you see a Warriors fan who isn't from the Bay Area, 9 times out of 10, he's very much so a bandwagon fan. Very much so. You see, I'm a fan of East Coast teams. Okay? Not saying that you have to be from the East Coast to be a fan. I'm just saying, like, the Warriors haven't been a great franchise for 10, 15, 20 years. You know, they're not like, you know, Chicago Bulls of the 90s. You know, Detroit Pistons of the late 80s, early 90s, Boston Celtics of the 80s, Lakers of the 80s, and the late 90s, early 2000s. You know what I'm saying? I can understand that. But when it comes to Golden State, you know, a lot of their fans are not the most hardened or, you know, no stat for stat as far as basketball is concerned. So if they're not showing Kevin Durant love, I'm pretty sure they were. I just felt like he probably saw a lot of people with Steph Curry jerseys and not Kevin Durant jerseys. But that doesn't mean they didn't care about, you know, Durant and felt like he was the best player on the team. They probably felt that. But when you're already used to having these guys and this guy comes in, there are going to be some fans who are still going to be more of a fan of Steph Curry. That's just how it is, man. Curry regularly received MVP chants from the Warriors crowd when he shot free throws, while that didn't become commonplace for Durant until this past postseason. And while Curry and Durant always had a strong respect for each other, some fans were unhappy a deserving Durant won Finals MVP twice over the popular Curry. Curry is the fans' choice. The fans feel like they can relate to him, Because Steph Curry, when he first got to the NBA, he didn't like him. He wasn't an overly athletic guy. He's just a guy who can shoot. His skills got better and better, but he always was a good basketball player, even when he was at Davidson. He just didn't have the measurables that some people have. Even Kevin Durant didn't have measurables when he first got into the NBA. But his talent was getting up and down the court and making buckets. That was his talent. That's the talent of Steph Curry. But again, you have a lot of casuals who only know Steph. And when you're winning and he's the point guard and he's scoring a lot of points, they're always going to view him as the guy. I don't think that was a major slight to Kevin Durant. The Warriors fans are very bandwagon. They really are. All right. Let's see. A separate report from Marcus Thompson of The Atlantic suggests the lack of a true bond between Durant and Curry contribute to his decision to walk away from the Warriors. I just want to say this though. Honestly though, I don't think Curry ever really accepted KD. I think he was okay with KD, but KD, he's like me. He can feel body. I don't know what sign he is, but he can feel the energy of people, I think. And I think that the energy between him and Steph was off because I felt like I don't think Steph felt like they needed KD. Draymond Green wanted KD on the team, but I don't think Steph wanted KD on the team. I'm just going to say it. I think Steph felt like they could do better without Kevin Durant. And when they brought Kevin Durant in, he felt like it was a slight to him because he would have to be more passing of the ball to KD and Klay Thompson. And I don't think he wanted to do that. I think Steph Curry wanted to be like what Russell Westbrook is. Russell Westbrook likes for the ball to be in his hands. He wants to make he wants to be able to make the majority of the plays, whether it's passing the ball or throwing it up. And when KD comes in there, you're going to have to be more of a passing point guard, and that's not a Steph's strong suit. But he's done okay. He's done okay with it, and I think that has a lot to do with it. And that's where the friction, I think, comes into play. Steph is a very competitive guy, and them bringing in KD, he probably felt like it was a slight to himself, and I think that's why Kevin Durant couldn't wait to leave, because when you're a point guard and you are not on the same page like that, that can affect you. Now, if you had an issue with, let's say, Draymond Green, a guy who's playing, the forward, it's not really the same as if you have issues with a point guard. The point guard is in charge of making, distributing the ball, and he's handling it for the most part. So, y'all can let me know in the comment section below, man, and let me know what you think.